Yo, what's up, OddsShopper fam? Chris Ryan here with my 5-step guide on how to determine which touts and tipsters to trust. Look, there's stacks of them out there on Twitter and Facebook these days with their tips, with their bets, subscribing, getting you to pay your money to try and make money off them. But how do we actually determine if you can and if you will be successful? If you follow my 5-step guide, you're going to be in front of the process and getting there. We're going to count them down from 5 to 1, and I'll give you the tip. Number 1 is by far and away the most important. It's like almost an industry secret that no one's letting you into. All right, let's get into it. Number 5, the most important thing to learn here, short-term trends, don't listen to them. Lots of people will tell you, I went 5-1 yesterday, 6-2 over the last couple of days of NBA. But in gambling, we are focused on long-term profitability, not on short-term. I've even seen people break them up into Sunday night football. I'm 10-1. They didn't actually tell you that they were 25-40 over the rest of the NFL season, but where they're trying to make out like they're doing much better than they am, but they are by compartmentalizing parts of their bets into a short-term sample size. We don't want that. You want to have a long track record. So ignore people telling you their short-term numbers. Number 4, the timing of the bets. You can subscribe to someone and pay someone. Let's say it's a tennis tipster. Tennis is all over the world. The bets could be coming through at any time of the day. You need to find out when they're coming through, because what happens if they're coming through when you're sleeping? What happens when they're coming through when you're at work and you're not allowed to place bets on your work computer? Okay? If you can't go all in on being able to place all of the bets, you shouldn't go in at all. So the timing that they come through is important. You should ask that anytime you're subscribing to any tipster. Number 3, anyone who's telling you the same amount of tips each day, our lock of the day, our same game parlay of the day, we're going to have our special every single day. Ignore them, okay? Any gambler worth their salt should know that value is the most important part of this. It doesn't matter if you have 1 bet a day or 10 bets a day, as long as each one of them is valued, okay? If somebody is telling you there's going to be 1 bet every single day, they're going to be forcing some bets upon you. So bets that aren't valued. If there's 10 NBA games on for a day, your tipster should be happy saying, I've got no bets today, rather than forcing you into a bet. If there's 10 games on, they should be happy one day having 0 bets and the next day having 5 bets, 10 bets. Because all that's important is the value. But there are people out there who will try and force a bet upon you. This is my bet of the day. This is my lock of the day. Same game parlay. They're just trying to find a bet that's not really there. That's not really there from a value perspective. So those sort of things, I want you to steer clear of. All right. Number 2, you should be able to speak to your tipster. Okay. Once you sign up, they should be able to answer some of your questions. You should try and learn from them and try and understand what their edge is, how they go about it. Are they qualitative? Are they quantitative? How do they go about beating the market? They're not going to be able to tell you all of their insights. Not going to give away their tricks, but they should be able to converse with you. If they're not, I don't really want that sort of person, because I also want to learn off that person at the same time if I'm paying them. If they can't respond to me because they've got like 100, 500 subs, they're really popular. The more subs they have, that means there's more people fighting for that price at the same time that they release that tip, which will make it harder for you to get onto. Okay? So you should look to speak to them. Number 1 tip coming up shortly. Remember, if you or anybody you know has a gambling problem, please call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Welcome to follow me on Twitter at I'mDeBomb82. I love to answer any of your gambling questions. Now, if we go and have a look here at OddsShopper, and this is going to lead into what we have as the most important tip, and trust me, no one is telling you this. The most important tip, and by a long way, is how achievable is the price that the tipster is telling you. How achievable are the prices listed in their spreadsheet that they're saying this is the price I've got. Now, I'm going to, by way of an example here, this is just a first quarter money line on the NFL. Okay, this is the Tennessee Titans. If we have a look here, we can see that Bet365 is quite a long way above the rest of the market. They're plus 325. Everyone else around that plus 250 mark, 285. Now, if you have a tipster telling you, take this plus 325, what will happen is maybe one person can have this price attainable to them. They'll bet it. The bookmaker will move it in. This price is not going to last forever because it's an outlier. It's up above, way above the rest of the market, because the rest of the market is in sync. This one is well above it. So I would call this a not achievable price if a tipster's telling it to you, because you've got lots of people trying to place the bet at the same time. So I don't call this an achievable price. Anytime that a tipster is giving you something that's an outlier that you can't get on or close to on at what I would call more a general market price, which in this instance is close to that 250, 260 mark, plus 250, then it's not achievable. Because here, plus 325 is likely a plus EV number. You would make money out of it long term. Plus 300 is probably around your break even. And when you get down to the plus 280s, that's probably where you start getting into negative territory. So that becomes not an achievable price. There's other parts to this too. What if they do, as I mentioned before, have a lot of subscribers? They got 100 subscribers. This you might be able to get on at the general price when that tip is released. But what if there's 100 people all trying to get on at the same time? That price can rapidly diminish. And all of a sudden, in this instance, this 325, even if the rest of the market was at plus 325 here, you might be forced to get plus 290, plus 280 because everyone has rushed in, taken the price, and now you can't get it. Because there's lots of gamblers out there who can be profitable by themselves. But as a tipster, they would actually be dipping into negative territory because you can't get the same price that they suggest. Sometimes a tipster might even be suggesting what is a slightly old price, right? It might be 30 minutes before they tipped it. They tell you that price, but it's all gone. Also, you might have tipsters who are releasing into the market and they themselves are backing that thing at the exact time they release it. So it will look like it's an achievable number because they show that they got it and they show that the time that they got it. But they themselves have knocked off the market, pushed the market down, and so the subscribers are not finding it achievable. And now I've done this for like 15 years. I have had lots of tipsters that I've used myself on some crazy things. I've had darts, snooker, cycling. I've bet on German elections off information that other people have told me. And as I've gone along the way, I've worked out how to do that more myself. But I have done it. And talking about the achievability of a price, about 10 years ago, I was subscribing to a service in Australia, and they were very good. I'd done it for a couple of years, and I had made 6 figures off it. But they'd got to the point that they were so profitable and so popular, the bookmakers started cotting onto it. And what would happen is several bookmakers were subscribed to this tipster. They knew that the prices, the bets were getting released at, say, 10 a.m. every Friday. And the bookmakers actually pull off every single game. Let's say it was NFL. They'd pull off the whole NFL thing off their site when the bets were being released, because they know that they didn't want anyone betting them. There was also other people who had created bots to bet instantaneously with Pinnacle the second the bets came out. So this is another way that sometimes even a profitable punter, as a tipster, their prices aren't achievable. So that's the number one thing that you need to look at anytime you want to try and find someone to try and make some money off. How achievable is that price? All right. Thanks very much. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.